This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
Dave, I want to start the show this week by saying that I saved you $10.
How did you? Oh, I know what's that. Okay, go on.
All right, so I went to Vegas this past weekend, and you told me to put $10 down on roulette between 19 and 21.
Right. Actually, you couldn't have done that because it's 19 and 22.
Whatever.
Because it's my mom's birth of the year.
I had to have it explained to me because I don't know how to bet, and I'm not a gambler, as you well know.
Right.
But I went to the roulette table, and I watched how it worked, and I saw where to put the chip.
Yeah, right.
And then I thought to myself, all right, mental exercise. This is what I'm going to do. I am not going to put that money down.
Okay.
And if it wins, I'm just going to hand Dave some money out of my pocket. But if it loses, I'm going to save him $10. And I watched the next spin.
And what was it?
5.
Okay. All right.
So I saved you $10.
Right.
You're welcome.
Can I have it?
That is how.
Let me have the $10.
No, it's money that you never spent. It's money that you never spent.
I love the hypothetical bet. Boy, why haven't I been doing that for years?
Well, that's kind of my point. You know, have you thought about doing the hypothetical betting? Because you know what can never happen? You can never lose.
Well, you know what I should start doing is, because I've been doing a little sports betting, like with your damn soccer.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, this
it's your terrible sport to bet on.
Your soccer podcast hasn't done shit for me in the...
You mean Free Kicks with Adam and Rick, which is on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network and Opie Show?
So I listen to the show.
Yeah.
Not always.
Yeah.
And
never.
I listen, and then I'm like, all right, well, it sounds like Liverpool has a real good shot here.
Yeah.
And I put money on Liverpool, and then they either don't win or they...
Yeah.
The thing that's bad about soccer is the draws.
Yes.
That's the thing that is
Don't
terrible.
bet on soccer. That's what I'm saying. The other thing I'm saying is it's time for Minutia Men, because that's our show, and we're going to roll it right now.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie production on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
If you want to just buy me a drink in appreciation tomorrow night.
We're at the Book of the Year Awards.
Yeah, we're going to the Chicago Writers Association Book of the Year Awards because one of our books, Chili Dog, MVP.
It's big being honored, yes.
Yes.
Very, you know, I love that hypothetical bet approach. It's like, how about all the women I should have asked out and I didn't, you know, and then saved all that humiliation, right?
Feel free to use it for whatever you need to use it on.
Yeah, I love the hypothetical. So, well, welcome back. You look great. You look tan.
Thanks.
You spent a lot of time outside.
I did. It was like 50 degrees outside.
Oh, that's not very
No,
good.
it was the same as here. It was the same.
Really?
Yeah, it was cold.
What did you do?
I watched soccer.
Oh, it was.
I went there for a soccer tournament, and so I watched I'd say 7 or 8 games of soccer.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
It was fun. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I hung out with the players. They're, those green-white players. They're all between the ages of 40 and 65.
Okay.
And
so a lot of them went to bed at around 9?
No, these guys are heavy partiers. Let me put it to you this way. Bridget couldn't even keep up with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Party Bridget didn't even make a...
No, she made an appearance, but she was outshone.
So you didn't gamble at all?
I did go to a video poker machine, and I put $20 in, and I lost it in 20 minutes.
That's actually not that bad. Did you get drinks?
No.
Oh.
They don't do that anymore. Here's the other thing. Vegas is ridiculously expensive right now.
Really?
Everything is super expensive. They don't even put coffee machines in your rooms, so you have to go downstairs and buy coffee at the coffee house there. Really? $8 for a cup of coffee.
What about the hookers?
Well, I was there with my wife, but
well, you could have still looked at a
I
menu
actually
board.
met many of them. I met many of them. They were, we were staying at the Palazzo / Venetian, and
I thought you were at the Bellagio.
I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. I don't really listen when people tell me things. Anyway, I'm sitting at the bar, and there are clear hookers everywhere. You can see them. They're dressed with,
I'm a hooker.
Right. They've got like
hello,
billboards.
my name is Sally. I'm a hooker.
Yeah, very much so. And these two African-American hookers were talking to me while I was sitting right next to Bridget.
Really?
Yeah.
Little chit chat.
Little chit chat. They're like, "Hey, so what do you do for a living?" I told them I'm a writer. Oh, what have you written? Yeah. And I showed them my book. And Bridget's like, "Why are you talking to them?" I'm just being friendly.
Right? Exactly. What? Our hookers are not people too?
Anyway, we have a show to do. Let's do the show.
So, before we get, I guess this is the show, and we've begun the show.
Okay.
So that we went to Cleveland.
Right.
A couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And we brought a bunch, when I say we, it's my wife and the kids, brought a bunch of scrapbook material. I didn't talk about this, right? Because Michelle's aunts, a lot of their pictures got destroyed in the Fort Myers Beach hurricane.
Oh, bummer.
Right. So we brought, and it really, really was wonderful. So we met Michelle's brother David, his family was there, and we all made, and again when I say we all,
I know.
They made scrapbooks. They had pictures, and they we had the little.
And what casino were you in while this was happening?
No, I did not go.
Okay.
Although we were at that retirement that had Wednesday morning poker tournaments, which we just couldn't swing because we were there. I would have.
I know totally you would
have. But each member of the family had like a page devoted to them.
Oh.
Right. And there'd be like little sayings or little slogans about the person, and then there'd be pictures.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Lila. I'm not sure which kid, but guess what my slogan was, which I think that you'll appreciate.
Mr. Mean?
No, it was joke, 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 repeat.
Now that's funny.
That's my tombstone, right?
That is funny.
I thought you'd appreciate it. All right, first story comes out of the great state of Idaho.
Okay.
By the way, you ever notice when we're doing political conventions, every state is the great state?
Yeah. And they're not all great states.
I was going to say, it's like a participation trophy at this point, right? Well, this comes out of Idaho. Idaho Republican apologizes for comparing women to farm animals.
What could possibly go wrong?
A newly elected Republican legislator in Idaho has apologized for comments in which he compared women's reproductive rights to milking cows after sparking criticism. Representative Jack Nelson, who was elected
not just any farm animals,
right,
cows.
Right, I know. Representative Jack Nelson, who was elected to his first term in the state's lower house in November of 22, told a meeting that he has some definite opinions about the woman's health thing. Okay. First of all, arguably not a great start. Okay. The women's health thing, not a great opening line. He goes on to say, and this, I want you to pay attention to.
Yeah.
See if you can follow along because it's kind of difficult. I'm a lifelong dairy farmer who retired, still own part of the dairy, grew up on the farm. I've milked a few cows, spent most of my time walking behind lines of cows. So if you want some ideas on reproduction, I have some definite opinions.
Wow.
Right. So I'm not understanding. It says spent most of his time walking behind lines. Is that insemination? Is that what he's done? I don't know.
I think he's talking about some udders.
Okay. You just stole a joke that I'm going to have in a few minutes. Thank you for that.
Doggone it, sorry.
Nelson, who has been divorced 17 times, apologized a few days later and remarked that his remarks were utterly embarrassing.
Joke, repeat.
Okay, may have added the utterly. Now, as a public service to our listeners, and especially to our Republicans that live in Idaho, which I'm sure we have huge numbers. I want to kind of convey what animals are acceptable to compare women's reproductive rights.
This should be good.
Okay.
Yes.
And here's a hint.
Yeah.
None of them. Okay. Absolutely.
Not the cock.
No, not of that. Right. If you have an inclination to say something as useless as an IUD on an emu, don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to compare a woman's menstruation cycle to that of a domestic red-blooded guinea fowl, just stay away. Okay. I know that there's probably a clever turn of a phrase using hyena and hymen. Just stay away. Okay. But Jack, it's perfect.
You couldn't go the extra mile and come up with that joke?
Yeah, no.
Well, you're really phoning it in.
No. However, and this is to Jack, it's perfectly okay to compare your penis to a miniature short-tailed cock and finch.
Okay. Oh, a cock and finch.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
see, I went with the...
Right. But you did take my other joke.
I'm sorry. Maybe we should run these by each other sometimes.
You're wearing the same shirt as I am, too. It's really aggravating.
We basically are the same person. All right. I have a story about... well, it's kind of actually similar. And this one is from the great state of Iowa.
Okay.
The internet is in love with the long-held tradition at the Iowa State Fair of the husband calling contest. It's famous, and right now there's a TikTok video of the Iowa State Fair husband calling contest, which is gone viral. It's amassed over 1 million views so far on the video sharing profile of TikTok. Now, according to the marketing director of the State Fair, the husband calling contest is part of the competition every year, and it brings in big numbers. They feature 12 to 15 women every year. So this is it, and that's like 30% of Iowa's population. Yeah. So that is a pretty good number.
Prestigious too, I imagine.
And luckily for us, they have put it on the good old TikTok, so we have it. Would you like to hear some of the husband calls?
Sure.
All right, here we go. These are the top 5.
Okay.
The top 5 winners out of a field of up
12.
to 12. All right, here we go.
Honey, did you get in? No, I couldn't get in.
Couldn't make the cut because of these ladies. Here we go.
Bob! Hurry up! I don't want to be late. Bob, hurry! Bob! Robert! Dean! Yoo-hoo! Keith! Yoo-hoo! Cuckoo! The clock says dinner! Daryl!
She seems nice.
Can you hear me? You get yourself in here right now! Come on! You know you're going to be late again, and you know that I want to get there on time. Roy! Roy!
That last one was the winner.
Yeah.
She's the winner. Now, just to give you a visual, she is in a wheelchair.
Okay.
She's got to be
90-ish.
I was going to say late 80s. And needs help with the microphone, but still has some pipes.
Well, and I think I read that she's like a 15-time winner or something.
Oh yeah. She's like the Michael Jordan of the Iowa State wife calling contest.
So would your wife? My boy.
Yeah. I don't know. Both of our wives have a similar approach, and that is the unspoken dumbass at the end of the sentence. Comma dumbass.
You know what I think would be great?
Have you ever said that to her, by the way?
Oh, I did. Like,
I say it to Bridget all the time.
I say it like, but I don't think she's listening to me.
Yeah.
I stole it from you. It's a great joke.
It is. Joke, repeat.
That actually should be the name of our podcast.
It's not bad.
So I'm trying to think. What would Mike? I think condescending laughter would be something that Michelle would really, and Bridget would really. If there was a condescending laughter,
if there is such a thing,
or an eye roll. Right.
Well, that's what your daughters do for you.
Well, Michelle's not the acorn. The eye roll does not fall far from the tree. We got a review.
Oh, let's hear it.
Flumey.
Excuse me.
Flumey on Podbean says, "Minutia Men is perfectly roasted, bite-sized uselessness."
Oh, I like that.
I think that's
joke,
perfect.
Joke, repeat.
Yeah. So,
you can rate us too. You can review us. You can follow us. If you like Minutia Men, be sure to check out some of the other programs on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. You can pick out your favorite new show at opishows.com. That's one place you can go. We're everywhere. Mm-hmm. We're everywhere. And we also have regular features on the show, including this one called Studio Walls.
Time now for Studio Walls.
And the words of the prophets were written on the studio walls. Begin, please.
So this is the part of the show where we dip into the vast Rick and Dave archives, and we play you a clip from one of our previous interviews or some audio that we've created over the years, and we've created so much of it that we have something every week that we can share with you. And this week is David Lynch's birthday. Now, we never have had David Lynch on the show, but we have had Amy Shields on the show, who was one of the stars of Twin Peaks, which is one of my favorite one of my favorite David Lynch productions ever. And Amy Shields is an Irish lady.
She's a delight.
She's a delight.
Delightful.
Now, I've chosen a portion of the interview, Dave, that does not include the portion where she was hitting on you.
I loved that portion.
Which is the portion that you play at home all the time. Because she actually, at one point, did kind of...
I don't like to say, but I got a certain something. Sure.
Yeah. All right. So, but this is the part where she talks about Twin Peaks. Let's listen in for a little while here. I'm a big Twin Peaks fan. And you played Candy in the 2017 Twin Peaks reboot. And I was
talk about a character that could bring kindness to the world. I mean, Candy is the epitome of being maternal and giving and kind and unaware of anything bad, and being appreciative of anything from finger sandwiches to air conditioning.
Well, so this is what I wanted to talk to you about is, I was a big fan of the original series when it came out, and there's a certain kind of person that is into this show. I mean, you may run into some generally ridiculously devoted fan base that, likes the minutia of things. I'm assuming you've run into that a bit. And if you don't mind telling us a little bit about that before I ask you about David Lynch, because I've got some questions about that too.
Sure. We are so blessed on that show to have the people that are into it, and they're generally brainiacs. I mean, at one point we did a festival and there was a guy there who has literally changed how we see the moon because he created some mirror on some spacecraft that reflects the moon down to us.
But can he do an awkward transition from one subject to another?
Yes, he can. He's now trans female.
Wow. That's really awesome. Taken it to an extreme, but okay.
Well, I'm just trying to run with my really good acting. So,
she's yes-anding. Yes-anding.
There are so many incredible... I'm really lucky, actually. I'm about to go to Spooky Empire in 2 weeks' time in Florida. It's one of those conventions, and a lot of the actually, everyone that's invited are OGs. You've got Kyle MacLachlan, you've got Machin, you've got Sheryl Lee, Sherilyn Fenn, and...
Oh, wow.
I'm the only member of the new cast who's been invited to go, so that's really incredible, and I can't wait to go and hang with them and see them and do a panel, because I really thought that would be over by now, but
it's never going to be over. It's that's
the thing. It's a show that was made again, the continuation, because of the fan base.
Right, exactly.
Well, they were asking for it. They kept on asking for it, right? I mean, that was the
because they kept on coming back. And I was on Twitter one day and I saw that Manifest, there was a TV show, and I got really into season 1 and 2, and I saw that they'd cancelled it. And I was like, come on, guys, let's get this remade, from a person who's been on a show that was remade because of the fans. We can do this. And, other people were saying it too, and it did. So, yeah, I think, and also video game fans are also into the minutia of things.
Right.
And I love video gamers and the whole culture, and I know there's negativity there, but really, if you think of it, video game culture is extremely inclusive, diverse, and they care. So when I go to these events and I'm talking about Twin Peaks, the people who are into, say, Final Fantasy 15 or what have you, they really want to know everything about it, and in my opinion, they deserve all the knowledge.
Yeah, well, there's definitely an overlap in the two communities of the Twin Peaks and the video game community. So,
for sure.
David Lynch. Let's talk about David Lynch, because he is, I think, one of our all-time great directors. Just a gifted man, but a little bit odd. Quirky. Did you find him that way? Or because I've talked to some people who worked with him who said he was perfectly normal, and then other people who said, there are moments.
Well, as with any question, Rick and David, yourself, you have to consider the source.
Yeah.
I would not say that he is quirky or weird. I think David is very straightforward. If you look at the things that he really focuses on, they're very simple, basic things. His shots linger on a guy sweeping a floor for 5 minutes. And he lingers on just the little things in life that we often overlook all the time.
Yeah, minutia.
The minutia moments, yeah. He could be the poster child for that, actually, yeah. But he does. He lingers on these things, and even, to speak to my lines, things like air conditioning. I found myself during the heat wave constantly saying how great the air conditioning was. And maybe that's because I'm from Ireland and we don't have it in most places and we've never needed it. So when I'm experiencing my first couple of heat waves, I'm like, oh my God, that air conditioning stuff is amazing. And Americans are so used to it. They're like, duh, yeah. So that's what's so great about him. He's very straightforward. And he's very inquisitive and inquiring mind. I think that's it. He's just constantly trying to unearth or understand things. And if that makes him weird, then...
Yeah, God love him.
Hey,
I wish we were all weird.
I really don't think weird is an insult, to be totally honest with you.
No, it's a compliment.
Yeah. That's Amy Shields, who is in the reboot of Twin Peaks.
And a ton of other things. She's a great...
And that Irish accent. I know. Oh, boy, I just love it.
Plus, I got kind of a thing with her.
If I had let it roll, which I intentionally did not do, that's when she started hitting on you, because then you started bragging about your video game prowess, and she was just smitten by that.
You can listen to the entire. Do you know what number?
Yes, this is episode number 109 of Minutia Men's Celebrity Interview, which you can find that everywhere: Spotify, Amazon Music Podcast, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. It's everywhere, and every week there's someone new, and we'll tell you a little bit more later.
Hey, Rick, I got one more story here.
Okay.
Are we? Yeah, we can do another story.
Yeah,
we have time.
I've got one too.
This comes out it's the BBC, so let's say UK.
It's definitely UK.
Bristol,
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yes.
A dance troupe flash mobbed a funeral with a performance of Queen's "Another One Bites the Dust" at the request of a woman who wanted her send-off to be memorable but not sad. Here, by the way, my send-off.
Yeah.
I want it to be gut-wrenching despair. Okay,
you know what it's going to be? It's going to be joke, repeat. Yes.
Yeah. You ever see the video of all the North Koreans crying in the square after Kim Jong-un?
That's what you want?
Yeah, that's what I want.
That's
I want just absolute despair. Well, the video of the event showed that some mourners they're doing the funeral, and then all of a sudden you hear another dun, 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 right? And then a flash mob comes out and starts... Did you see I sent you the video. It's very cool. So there's really not there's some people that were pissed off about this, saying that it was disrespectful. Yeah, whatever.
She was asking for
it. That was what she wanted to do. And the words "going out in style" were written on the coffin, and she had their high heels that she liked to wear in her handbags, like Weigel. I can't think of
Michael.
No, Weigel.
Tim Weigel?
Tim, when he had all the sport coats.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Up and down the aisles.
That's right,
So, I mean, I think that this was wonderful. Now, I started to do some digging as far as other people that may have done some stuff from the afterlife.
Yeah, sure.
To make people laugh.
Yeah.
And I found out that there are some very funny tombstones out there.
Yes.
Have you ever...
I've done a dive into this previously myself.
Do you know what's on Mel Blanc's headstone?
That's all, folks.
Yes, very good. For those of you who don't know who Mel Blanc is, he did all the voices of
the Warner Brother cartoons.
Bugs Bunny and whatever. Merv Griffin's.
I won't be right back after this message.
Okay. We really are joke, repeat. Jack Lemmon.
Jack Lemmon in.
How do you know all this?
I told you, I've already looked into this myself.
How do you remember all of it? Okay, Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, that one I don't know.
There Goes the Neighborhood.
Oh, okay. I thought it would be a respect thing.
Leslie Nielsen.
No idea.
Let Her Rip. He loved fart jokes.
Oh, Let Her Rip. That's good.
But perhaps my favorite is this dentist, this unknown dentist. His name is John Darby. Guess what's on his tombstone?
I don't know.
I'm filling my last cavity.
Oh,
so
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So God love, Miss what's her name?
You know what I want? All right, I've given some thought to this.
Sandy Wood. Yeah.
I want somebody to go up as they're giving my speech. It'll probably be you, unless you die first. I want you to go up there and I want you to say, "The king is dead. Long live the king." And then I want you to play this. My masterpiece, written in 1996.
Is it the King of Farts?
It's the Landecker and the Legends. It's King of Farts.
Leslie Nielsen would have loved this.
Hey, who cut the cheese? You know it's a universal male ability. I'm eating some baked beans. They're the favorite of this old coot. They're the magical fruit, and boy, do they make me toot. Yeah! They're calling me the king of farts. I've been making farting an art. Just watch how my sonic boom clears out every room. Yes, I'm a king of farts. I'm shooting out my sulfur darts. I'm never ever taking a pass. Had a chance to pass some gas.
Just a little more. Just a little more.
Is this the EP? Is this the
Gets me
extended
started
play?
right every day. Within a few minutes, my digestive system has its say. Got a hankering for some cabbage, a big heaping plate of sauerkraut. I love to eat it and wait for my bowels to shout.
You gotta go through the sauerkraut. It's gotta get him. You can't cut it off before sauerkraut.
It must have been
my favorite.
It must have been really hard working with John Landecker because he just didn't want to do it. He just didn't want to put himself out there, right?
To tell you the truth, he came to me and said, "Hey, you know that song Queen of Hearts? Make it King of Farts." And the next morning, I brought this in,
and the rest is history.
That was the way we collaborated. He's a genius in a lot of ways. Obviously, this is proven that he's a genius. But we had the same sense of humor, and it worked out beautifully for 10 years.
Who did we interview? What was the name of the guy who hung out with the Beatles? Paul Saltzman?
Yeah.
And didn't he, was in the room when they were doing Obla-Di, when they were coming up with Obla-Di, Obla-Da?
Yeah.
This is kind of just the same thing.
Same thing.
Absolutely.
It really is the same thing. Now, I've got another story here. This is... it's not really a comedy story, but this is
I'm not sure the other ones that we did.
Well, that's a good point.
Joke, repeat.
Yeah. This one is Minutia, because we promised Minutia to everybody. And I found this thing, I went down another rabbit hole. This was slang terms from the 1910s.
Oh, my gosh.
And I just want to share a couple of that I thought were kind of cool. Conchi. You know what a conchi is?
No, like a conch shell. No way.
It's an abbreviation for conscientious objector. So it was used during World War One.
Okay.
Anybody who didn't want to go into war, they called them conchis.
I'm a conchi.
I'm a conchi.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali, conchi.
Right.
Then here's another one.
I had bad hay fever too, so I was a conchi so I had double things that I couldn't go to.
There was another one called Monkey's Parade, and this is what they used to do in England, where the boys would all walk on one side of the street, the girls would walk on the other side of the street, and they'd wave, and would kind of hit on each other from across the street.
See, I could have done that.
Yeah.
I could have been it was just when I had a talk that was the problem.
It was your hypothetical approach.
Right.
That was called the Monkey's Parade. But the one that caught my eye the most is a phrase that is still used occasionally, but no one ever has explained where it came from. It's living the life of Riley. You never say, oh, that guy, he's living the life of Riley.
Right. Who's Riley?
Well, here it is. Someone who's leading an untroubled, happy life in the 1910s was living the life of Riley. Came from a song written by an Irish vaudevillian, Pat Rooney. The song's called Is That Mr. Riley? And in the chorus, people greet Riley, a self-proclaimed man of renown, as such. Is that Mr. Riley?
Oh, here we go.
Can anyone tell? Is that Mr. Riley who owns the hotel? Well, if that's Mr. Riley, they speak of so highly. Upon me, so Riley, you're doing quite well.
Oh, well, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
We should get Amy Shields to come in.
But that's where that comes from.
So
I've always wondered, and now I know.
So Riley is basically Tom Brady. Tom Brady is basically Riley.
Right. Living the life of Brady is the way we'd say it now.
Poor guy.
Right, it's time for another feature.
It sucked him getting
a random name pulled out of Rick's bowl of brushes with celebrities. Mixture, collection, selection, assemblage, medley, assortment, variety. Time now for Celebrity Potpourri with Rick and Dave.
So this is the part of the show where we feature celebrity stories, and we get them sent in from us. And this one couldn't have been more timely. David Crosby passed away yesterday. Yeah. And it's a sad thing. Neil Sant is a friend of ours, a former radio producer, and he passes along this great David Crosby story. I'll share it with you now. Here it goes. David Crosby passed away today. I have a tangential story about him. I was a fan of his music, but Steve Dahl turned me on to his autobiography. We booked Stephen Stills on Danny Bonaducci's show. By the way, Neil's the one that got us Danny, so he's been a part of the show. 1994. I had read David's autobiography, thought it would be funny if I wrote interview questions for Stephen as if he was David. Because Stephen and David famously hated each other and had huge blowouts that ended the band for years at a time. And when Stephen arrived at the Loop, I greeted him, took him into the green room, made some small talk. He was curious, he was friendly, engaged, and cool as F. Cool. We brought him into the studio. And Danny was a great interviewer, and he perfectly peppered in my David Crosby questions in with the regular Stephen Stills questions. And Stephen got more annoyed every time he got it wrong. After the third or fourth question, he got really pissed to the point of storming out of the studio. And then Danny pointed to me in the producer's booth. Stephen got the bit and gave me the finger. Getting the finger from Stephen fucking Stills is definitely a proud moment, kind of like Joe Walsh making me chug Jack Daniels in a limo on the way to an event because he was sober. Hey, man, I can't do it. Someone's gotta.
Well, living vicariously through someone else's... No, that's someone who's...
See, you want to get the good stories, Dave? You don't go to the guys that were the hosts of these shows.
No, you go to the radio producers.
You go to the producers.
Because they're the ones that shoveled it all.
We had to shovel it, and we remember these stories because we are not big stars, right? So we just kind of witnessed it.
You're a big star to me.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Anyway.
$10 on 1922.
I saved you $10. Special thanks to our executive producer, Tony Lasano with opishows.com. Opie is hippo backwards, OPPIH shows.com.
But you do know that if you would have put the $10 down, it may have altered the spin somehow.
How?
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
it's not true.
The weight of the felt could have altered. It's not true.
Distributed by Ed Silla with Radio Misfits. Great Talk Radio isn't dead. It just moved to a better place. RadioMisfits.com. And we'll be back again next week with a brand new episode of
Minutia Man.
The proceeding was a presentation of Opie Productions. Find our other great shows wherever you find podcasts, including opishows.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?
All right, Adam, what country are you from?
I am from England.
What is the best soccer league in the entire world?
The English Premier League.
What is your day job?
Director of Coaching for Illinois Youth Soccer.
So if you were, say, a fan of English Premier League and you wanted to hear the opinions of someone who is from England, who knows a lot of soccer, what podcast would you tell people they need to listen to?
Free Kicks with Adam and Rick.
And that's on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
Free Kicks, a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie show on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Great talk radio isn't dead. It just moved to a better place. RadioMisfits.com.